and your Jefferson Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. To Carrie Levin for making volunteers everywhere feel special tonight. To my nominator, Nicole Barnes, she's a prime example of the incredible staff at Opportunity Workshop. To my husband, my children, and my grandchildren, I'm blessed to have them. To my grandmother, who taught me not to take those blessings for granted, but to pay back. And most importantly, thanks to the hundreds of people with disabilities at Opportunity Workshop who hooked me with their smiles, their hugs, their handshakes, and their shining spirits. Those shining spirits can be seen in this community every day. People with disabilities are everywhere. I hope they'll hook you too.
Our next winner is a very active community volunteer who has done some conventional and some not-so-traditional volunteer jobs. Please welcome Chuck Waletzko, escorted by Roxanne Battle.
Just one man in his own little corner of the world doing what he can to help. Chuck Waletzko's modest analysis of his volunteer work doesn't do justice to the range of Chuck's efforts.
We have so much to share with our fellow men that we oftentimes take for granted because we feel like, well, what can I do?
Cornerstone, this is Chuck.
All right.
Chuck does a lot. For 5 years, he's volunteered as a phone counselor at the Cornerstone Domestic Abuse Center.
Oftentimes it's easy to say that it's a woman's issue and they need to deal with it accordingly, but I think until we all see that, until we can stop the violence together, that we really can't begin to bring peace to a wider global scale for men, women, and children.
A man working at a domestic abuse center may be a bit surprising, but it works very well.
And I was really thrilled to find, oftentimes at the end of the conversations, the women said, well, I'm really glad I spoke to you. It gave me a little different perspective. Maybe all men aren't like that. So that's a real affirming type of situation.
Chuck's concern for the safety of his community led him to develop a unique program with backing of Bloomington Community Crime Watch, a video introducing neighbors to each other.
We're able to have people be able to know their neighbors that much better and be acquainted with who should be around the block, what is suspicious activity and what's not.
Go on and tell us, do you have any particular memories of the neighborhood? You've been here 18 years.
Chuck's caring and giving takes other forms. He speaks widely to churches and youth groups, and somehow finds the time to work with young people as a coach.
And so it's that whole idea that we can make a difference. We're not going to save the world on our own, but we can make a difference in our little corner of the world. And if we all do our part, it'll be a much better place to live.
Well, Chuck, I have an $1,100 check. I also have $1,000 to be donated to Cornerstone Domestic Violence Program and Minnesota Citizens Concerned for Life, as well as your Jefferson Award. Congratulations to you. Yes.
I would gratefully like to thank Carrie Levin and the Board of Governors. I would also like to thank my wonderful wife, Denise, my great kids, Maria and Paul, and my special family and friends. Without their overwhelming love and support, I would certainly not be standing here this evening. I accept this award on behalf of my fellow volunteers everywhere who work to bring peace and love to their corner of the world. As Mother Teresa said at the National Prayer Breakfast this year, if we are to end the violence, we must give until it hurts. Give until it hurts to those most in need, the poor, the oppressed, and the abused. And especially, she said, if we truly want to end the violence and spread peace and love, we must give until it hurts, to protect the most vulnerable and defenseless of all, the unborn children. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
Before we present our next award, we have a very special greeting from the President and General Manager of Care 11, Hank Price.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Paul. Care 11's commitment to our community continues as we proudly salute this year's 11 Who Care volunteers. Now, each of these individuals has given the most important gifts that any of us possess, the gift of self and the gift of time. A spirit of reaching out to others and contributing unselfishly has made our community strong. We congratulate these outstanding individuals on their endeavors and celebrate the lives that they've touched. Truly, they are 11 Who Care. Thank you.
Our next winner has kept the water running or stopped the leaks all over the world. Please welcome 11 Who Care winner Bob McClellan, escorted by Denise McNaught.
Gifts of love can take many forms. In Robert McClellan's case, we're talking plumbing. Bob has traveled the world to install modern sanitary plumbing in schools, churches, and orphanages.
Out of the country about 40 times out of the country, and altogether, including the ones in the United States, probably about 160.
That's 160 missions with wrench and putty. Bob travels at his own expense without the help or support of any organization.
And various other organizations got wind of the fact that I was willing to do plumbing for mission stations and so forth.
Not all of Bob's work is abroad. This project is a church in South Minneapolis. He stops by and puts in a day whenever he can. But over the years, it's really added up.
But it really took off in 1973 when I went to Medellin in Colombia. And from that point on, it's just been kind of a constant thing with maybe 5 or 6 weeks of volunteer service of this type of thing every year.
What takes this skilled craftsman away from a comfortable home, loving wife, and successful business for 5 or 6 weeks every year?
I guess just finishing the job and seeing the work completed and the people who work for happy with the completion. It's very gratifying to see satisfaction.
Bob, here's your $1,100 check, $1,000 to be divided between the New Tribes Mission and Family Hope Services and your Jefferson Award. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd like to express my appreciation, first of all, to my sponsor, Family Hope Services, Fred Peterson and Susie Goodsall. And then I would like to thank my Lord above, who has made this possible for me to serve him in this little way. I want to thank my wife, who has stood by me through many times of absence, and my family, who has supported me. I want to thank my co-workers on the team that go with me presently, Mr. Al Schultz, Mr. Dick Benshoff, Mr. Chuck Patton, and Mr. Mark Olson. And I want to thank folks at Channel 11 and all those responsible for this very fine award. Thank you all very much.
Our last winner is motivated by a mother's love. Please welcome Patty Wetterling, escorted by Alan Costantini.
The face is familiar, and because of her tireless efforts, so is the cause. Since the abduction of her son Jacob in 1989, Patty has become an advocate for the rights and safety of children.
I guess my perspective changed when we had our kids, and I coached soccer, and I was PTA president, and I work on the arts festival getting entertainment, and I love the child perspective in life.
Corin, stay on this side a little more.
Patty especially enjoys coaching soccer, just one more way to show kids love and support.
It's fun. I just really enjoy the sport, and the interaction, watching these girls grow up has been real fun.
And of course, watching kids grow is at the center of Patty's efforts with the Jacob Wetterling Foundation. Getting the word out about child safety and abductions has made Patty a nationally known speaker and consultant.
It's a compulsion to continue trying to build the world that I believe that children deserve, and I think it's an adult responsibility that we do our part.
Patty's efforts have already begun to pay off.
I love hearing the stories about kids getting away because I know that the awareness is helping them.
The good news helps, but Patty is in this for the long haul. Her extraordinary love for children defines her past and future.
Just because a child returns home doesn't mean the work is done. It's the awareness that is keeping kids safe and helping all of us maintain while our kids are still gone.
Patty, I have an $1,100 check. I also have a $1,000 check for the Jacob Wetterling Foundation and also the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Here's your Jefferson Award as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Dawn Fern for nominating me and Carol Levin for this very special honor. I accept this award on behalf of the many friends and volunteers who have carried me and my family for nearly 5 years. Thank you to my special family, to Jerry, Amy, Trevor, and Carmen, for sacrifices they've made when Mom's gone. Thank you all for your prayers for Jacob and all missing children. I know that our work to build a safer world for kids is best reflected in the children themselves. Their warm smiles, hugs, spontaneous giggles, dreams, and innocent charm fill the world with the hope and promise of good things to come. Please hold our missing children in your hearts until we can hold them in our arms again. Thank you.
This concludes our special Golden Birthday of 11 New Care, which has been a tribute to the passion and dedication of a very special group of people. If you know someone who should be honored for their volunteer contributions, nomination forms for next year's 11 New Care Awards program will be available by writing to Care 11.
Also, our thanks to the Board of Governors for their time and effort in selecting the 11 who care. And again, congratulations to all of the winners. And please stay with us for one last look at our winners from tonight. As from all of us at Channel 11, we'd like to say thank you for caring, and sincerely, thank you to all of you on the Board of Governors and all of you who won awards tonight. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
So brilliantly does burn, sending light out, asking nothing in return. Those who care will always answer. We are not the ones who matter. Some have kind words, while you let action be. Some have pity. Oh, you have promises to keep. Those who care will always answer. We are not the ones who matter, but we know what
KARE 11 News with Paul Majers.
They walk among us every day, but we rarely recognize them.